where are the greatest deals right now in Washington County? I'm going to tell you there are 2 spots that we're going to talk about today. We're talking about where there isn't a deal and where there is a deal. And we're going to talk about builder wars. Man, it's
intense out there.
There's a little bit of pain and suffering actually in the market. I'm going to be real with everybody there. And I'm like, it's going to be fun, guys. Good morning. This is the St. George and Southern Utah Real Estate Morning Drive. I've got Jessica Marone with me.
Good morning.
So awesome.
It's been a minute. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're here.
I was supposed to come on last week and I had no voice. So
it was really bad.
That I have it today.
It was really bad. I teased her that she had taken on a, there we go. That she had taken on a kind of like belated Virginia Slims habit. You know, it's interesting. I'm sure as you talk on a show like this, there are people who smoke cigarettes, but it was a thing, right? 30, 40 years ago. Do you remember as kids that they had just cigarette machines?
Oh, for sure.
Cigarette machines? Come on, you guys. You remember this?
So I was an exchange student. I don't know if I've talked about that on the show. I lived in Argentina, which was one of the most amazing, incredible experiences of my life when I was 18. And the non-smoking movement had kind of already happened here or was beginning. And just to see everyone, I mean, literally my host father all of my siblings in my family in Argentina smoked, and they all had their preferred cigarette, and he would buy them a pack every night for their school day the next day. It's just interesting,
Look, I mean, now you got Zins. Although I don't think cigarettes ever did what Zins do. Yeah, that's like the new thing right now. That's amazing. That is amazing. Because look, okay. Let's see. It's like I got an apple, I've got a cookie, I've got a PB&J, and a pack of Marlboro Lights. Yeah. I think you're ready, kiddo.
Ready to learn.
I think it's time. Oop, my microphone is very touchy. It's time to crush it over the school. Well, as a child, and guys, we are going to talk about real estate today, but this is the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive. I don't know who's been to Dixie Bowl. Have you ever been to Dixie Bowl in your life?
I never have.
Oh, come on.
We need to make a field trip.
So it's right behind Stapley Pharmacy and the new Washington County Administration building. And when I was a kid, when you went to Dixie Bowl, you'd walk in, cool. It was like the smoke would just smack you in the face. And, it's just a bygone era. And I'm glad. Okay. So there you go. I'm glad you got your voice back. She hasn't been smoking. And guys, our show is brought to you by our friends over at Guild Mortgage, Chantry Abbott and his team.
So great. They're so great.
Does great. He does. They do. Every time I try to move this, they do great things for us. Isn't it like what Southern Utah title says, doing great deeds, since whatever? It's very clever. Do you see what they did? Doing great deeds.
I love it. Love a good play on words.
We've loved working with Guild Mortgage and grateful for them. So if you want to look them up, just look up Guild Mortgage, Chantry Abbott, Chantry. It's kind of a unique name. You can find them online. They do a lot of work with us. Grateful for our friends with Blueform Media who are here in Larkin Group headquarters, guys. When you see this show, if you see this on YouTube, did you guys know that every show is on YouTube for the last, year and a half?
Basically YouTube stars.
Yeah. At this point we are.
Blueform Media.
At this point we are. I mean, if you call a few thousand followers stars. I'd probably say that's a little bit of a stretch, but these guys they're right here in our studio. They have their own studio as well. At Blueform Media on Instagram. You can look them up. But guys, we actually broadcast from the corner of Tabernacle, where you see the big mural on the side of the building, and the cemetery across the street. Utah Tech University, just a one city block away. This is where we broadcast and where we talk about it. So should we get right to it?
Let's get to it.
All right. We had this conversation. I want to tell you who this show is for. It is very specifically for builders, or if you are married to a builder or talk to a builder, especially like a spec builder, this show is for them, you. This show is actually also for another segment of the market. It's kind of interesting. The buyers of high-end homes and the buyers of the entry-level home. And we're going to get into it, Jessica, and talk about this builder wars situation. And I want to set it up this way. We had a conversation yesterday. One of our great agents, Suzette, buyer comes to town. They go down near the LDS temple in the Washington Fields. I don't know exactly which. I mean, I do, but I don't. We're not going to pull the properties up here. Her buyer finds a home. It's beautiful. It's finished. Spec home. and they write an offer. Next to that home were 7 other unfinished homes. 7 other unfinished homes by the same builder. Something happened. The money dried up. They didn't finish the homes. They're on the market. Now, let that sink in for a minute. Guys, I have not seen that in exactly 15 years. Excuse me. 15 years since we've seen that, right? And so we have this situation going on in the Southern Utah real estate market that goes like this. And I talked to my great friend Dave yesterday. He's with a broker here in town. As a matter of fact, he's texting me while we were sitting here. They want to show one of our properties. And I said, Dave, I'm seeing some people lose some money, right? Like, and Jessica, are you seeing that same kind of conversation?
I am. And I'm seeing some really opposite things as well. So I'm anxious to talk about it, but I'm...
So we're seeing this situation where we have builders in the high end who went out and they purchased a building lot. And they purchased a building lot in the melee of when? What years? Let's talk about these years for a minute, guys. 21, 22. Here's the funny part. We talked about this, Jesse and I, on the show last week. Guys, if you feel like you just missed the peak of the market, that was 3 years ago. So you didn't just miss it. You're on a road trip to, I don't know, Miami, and we're already at flipping into the South. We're in Oklahoma. I mean, it's way back in Denver. Okay. And so people might be leaning in going, oh my gosh, is the market crashing? Well, it's not crashing, but what's happened is home values are going through a compression era. And so I want you to set this up. We have another client, Jessica. This client comes to you, 2 homes. What's the situation with them? Jesse's working with them. Great people, beautiful homes. Tell us about this situation with these 2 big homes.
They're beautifully built homes in Hurricane, and they're not moving. And we've had some activity on one. We've had very little activity on the other. And the feedback is very, even when we're trying to extrapolate it, it's like pulling teeth, because when we can hear feedback, then we can kind of try to fix it. Right. But they're just sitting there.
They came to you. What was the circumstance?
They were over a barrel with one of them.
Mm-hmm. And behind, and also had already tried to sell these homes with previous brokerage.
Agents.
A couple. So I want to paint this picture. There's a picture I'm painting, which is there is a deal zone above $1 million right now in Washington County. There just is. And specifically, I think the deal zone is 1 to 1.5 million.
I agree. And I talk about this consistently on my Instagram account, and I feel
move me to St. G.
Move me to
STG.
STG.
At move me to STG.
And I feel like people think that I'm being insincere when I'm saying this is a great opportunity for entry-level luxury buyers to get into the market because of these types of deals, and because of the situation, and because there is a plethora of inventory on the market right now in that price point. And I almost feel like people think I'm being tone deaf about what's happening. No, this is your opportunity to get in and get a deal.
Let's literally show visually. Look at this, guys. Okay. I am looking right now at something called Area Pro. We are the beta testers for this technology. So I want to put this into English for everybody. Guys, this is Jeremy, Larkin, Jessica Marone with the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive. We're talking about this unique situation, and I'm going to run out of battery this morning because my charger, as I started talking, I realized it's not here with me. We have 5, guys, hear this out. One deal zone is the upper end, okay? But it's not the extreme high end. They're actually, shockingly.
Yeah, this one's 870 that we're actually...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I don't know.
I'm looking at one that we were referring to that Suzette was looking at yesterday. Yeah. It's 870. Yeah. Anyway, keep on
correct. Going. And so, guys, you have this zone of 1 to 1.5 million where builders have gotten themselves over a barrel. What happened is they paid so much for the lot, and then they got hasty and they kind of overbuilt the home. Above 1.5, above 2 million, serious buyers are playing in that market, and they're spending $2, $3, $4, $5, $8 million on homes. Holy crap. But if you look at this, if you look at my screen here, and Jessica, I don't know if you look in your Zoom, you'll be able to see it. So 5.3 total months of inventory in the market. That doesn't mean anything to buyers and to our listeners. Here's what it means to you, though, guys. I'm going to break it down. It is a neutral market if you average the entire market, all right? If you average the entire market, it's a neutral market. But I want to show you something. When I get into 1 million plus, there's now 9.4. There's twice as much supply above $1 million as there is across the market generalized. Is everybody keeping track of this? Across the general market, there is, okay, now watch this. Let's drill down to just 1.25 million. Now it's 12 and a half months of inventory. So here's what happens. Here's the problem. When you ask a realtor, what does everyone ask a realtor about the market?
What's the market doing? What's the market like?
Oh, there's 5.3 months of inventory. It's a neutral market. The heck it is. It is a booming market for some sellers, and it is a rough and tumble, ugly place for others. And I'm going to talk about this momentarily, okay? And it's going to be for a bit. 12 and a half months of inventory at the 1.25 mark. Guys, over a year's supply of homes at the 1.25 million mark, where if you looked at the whole market, it's a very normal, healthy market. Now, let me tell you where the other opportunity is. So Jessica, if we're telling people that above $1 million, like we see 7 unfinished homes down in the Washington fields for sale. We have a client come to us as great people with beautiful homes who are like, they're upside down in these homes. You would think the logic is, well, the really low end, there must not be any deals down there. Well, it's interesting. Let me show you how misleading the low end is. Under $500,000, there is fewer than 4 months supply. That would be a buyer, seller, or neutral market.
The seller market.
Here's the funny part. What are builders like D.R. Horton and Richmond American doing with their $500,000 homes? What are they offering people?
This is crazy. They are offering such incentives with their interest rates.
Tell us, what kind of incentives?
They are offering such buyer rate buyer down. Oh my gosh.
Okay, but do you know the kind of terms? Okay, because I'm looking for something specific.
Help me help you right now.
We're talking about because remember the tour.
Yeah.
3.9% mortgage rates. This is what I was looking for.
Thank you.
3.9% mortgage rates. And here's why, by the way. Even though there's only 4 months of supply, all these builders are fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Richmond's competing with DR. DR's competing with Ivory. Ivory's competing with Ents, who's competing with Salisbury. And so what you have is they're like, I'll give you 4.5%. I'll give you 3.9%. I'll give you a free fridge.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rough moment there for you,
sorry,
wasn't it?
I was struggling. Thanks for helping me out.
Yeah.
But it's allowing them to have a buyer to have so much more purchase power than if they were buying a resale home. Do
you remember what Joe told us over at Richmond American last week?
Why are you quizzing me when I struggled so much? Remember how I stepped out to talk to a client during this very minute?
Joel told us last year that we ran the math over at Richmond American, and you can purchase between $100,000 and $140,000 more home at by the way, that's 3.9% conventional. If you're a first-time home buyer, we could get you in at 3.75%. Okay, guys, prevailing mortgage rates in America are 6.275% today, about. So we've painted this picture, builder wars. You have these builders that are discounting deeply stuff 1 to 1.5. Mm-hmm. Well, by the way, it used to be 1. And as you said, some of this stuff's like $875,000, $900,000. And in the really entry-level price point. Crazy to me.
The other thing that I wanted, not to throw you a curveball, but the other kind of crazy thing that I'm seeing is that I am seeing beautiful homes that are 1.8, going under contract rather quickly.
Well, it's not a curveball. It's what I said earlier.
Right.
I said above 1.5 are serious buyers.
Yeah.
That is 100% spot on with what I'm saying. Above 1.5, 2 million, 2.5, 3 million. Guys, you'd be shocked at how many homes are selling in the 2 million plus range. It's really astonishing. So, we have a situation, and if you're a buyer, gosh, man, hope you're listening to this. There's a rule of thumb that we use for builders. So if you spend $200,000 on a building lot, you're going to spend 3 times that building the home. So if you buy a building lot for $200,000, you have to spend at least $600,000 to build a home that can be sold. Well, if you spend $300,000, well, you're going to spend $900,000, which is now $1.2 million. If you spend $400,000, now your home's $1.6 million. Now, something interesting happens. The economy of scale, think of what I just said. There actually aren't a lot of lots over $500,000. So when you start spending $500,000 on a lot, you're going to spend 3 times that on a build, fit $1.5 million. Now you're $2 million into it, except for those homes tend to be valued at like $2.5 million. This is why the builders in the ultra high end are winning and why the builders in the ultra low end are competing with each other. And let me tell you, the messy middle is a term that I've used in real estate forever. There is a messy middle right now. If you're reselling a home in Bloomington Hills, you have one. I have one in Larkin. I have a home right now that we dropped to $530,000 yesterday. 5 beds, 3 bathrooms, 2,800 square feet, shaded street in Larkin. It was not getting a single showing at $550,000. And she added $8,000 for a buyer to buy down their rate. And you know what she said to me? She said, how is it that my 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home is going for the same amount that I'm buying a 3-bedroom, 2-bath brand new build that's 1,500 feet from Del Webb and Mesquite? And I said, this is my point. Yeah, last night. Do you see this relationship?
Yeah. Makes sense.
By the way, listeners, most realtors are not paying attention to this, right? And one of the reasons why is they don't get forced to go on the air on Thursday morning and actually have to
talk
come
about
up
it
with something.
or not be able to remember it.
Well, it's okay. She's a smart gal. Well, okay, as you're talking to buyers and you're talking to sellers, in any of these price points, what are you hearing? What's coming up?
Well, of course, buyers are nervous. They want to make sure they're not overpaying or that they're, if they wait a little bit, could they get a better deal?
Correct.
We've got sellers that some are really, really attached to the price and therefore their home is not moving. And other people are really, I'm so thankful, trusting my advice and the market and they're having success. And so it is important for people to understand. I mean, I looked yesterday, 73 homes closed in Washington County last week. Means 73, 150 people essentially moved or bought and so things are happening.
And that's just in the multiple listing service because
correct.
Quite frankly, it's talking about builders. You have a lot of these builders aren't posting their stuff.
Correct. So success is out there and people, when they're motivated to either buy or sell, if they're listening and really trusting us, they're getting what they need and what they want.
Well, let me share a thought that's coming up as you're talking. And it's this. When you hear a show like this one today, you go, oh my gosh, the market's crashing. Okay. It's not.
Crashing.
It's absolutely not crashing. And something you need to remember is this. We're talking about builders. Well, what is the age of new construction? It's brand new.
Right.
It's new construction. Guys, if you purchased a home more than 5 years or more back,
you're sitting pretty.
You're sitting on still that's what's so weird is if you just purchased in 2020 or before, you're sitting on a mountain of equity. And so one of the great, I'm going to see if I've got this in front of me. One of my great data sources, Keeping Current Matters. I love working with these guys. They talked about this yesterday is we have to flip the script a little bit for people because when they hear a show like this, they say, well, wait a minute, like what's going on here? And there you go. So check this out. Home price gains over the last 5 years more than offset recent declines. And I want to talk about this data point. So this for the most part is nationwide data, but you have to realize that since March 2020, and I wish I had Washington County pulled in front of me, but I'll tell you right now, Tampa, Florida, people hear that Florida's getting obliterated. Home prices are up 48% since March 2020. Austin, Texas, up 30%. San Francisco, which, I mean, we hear everything negative about San Francisco. Prices are up 16%, and so on and so forth. And I tell you right now, in Washington County, home prices are probably up 35 to 40% since March 2020. Mm-hmm. But what happened was, in 21 and 22, we had this melee, which leads to kind of another fun conversation. We had we had an election this week, and St. George City has a new mayor, Jimmy Hughes. I've known the guy most of my life. He's a great man. And people are going to have opinions about, they wanted to reelect Michelle Randall, but we're seeing places like New York City they had the most riveting election in the country. A Democratic socialist, by his own definition, wins this election. One of the gals that's in my real estate network nationwide, she lives in Westchester County, New York. Westchester's like 60 minutes from New York City north, but suburbia. She said, guys, the exodus is already happening. And it actually started the weekend before, last weekend. Mm-hmm. Exodus, not that people are in there and they've bought, but that she said the phone legitimately last weekend started ringing with like, yeah, we've wanted to get the freak out of New York City for a really long time, and we don't like what just happened. So New York City may actually have another COVID-style real estate event where people are getting the heck out of there to suburban New York, maybe even further north up the coast, or by and large, they go to the Carolinas and Florida. And people in Florida have been teasing that Mamdani, the guy that was elected, he was going to be the realtor of the year for Florida this year again. After Florida, I mean, it's the same thing they said with Newsom, right? Gavin Newsom's been the realtor of the year like 5 years running for Utah and Idaho.
Right. Should send him a thank you card.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but I mean, I'd like to punch the guy, but outside of that, I'd send him a thank you card. So we have these weird dynamics. California voted in a proposition that a lot of people, conservatives, did not like. Mm-hmm. So my point where I'm kind of going with this is we're not going to have an exodus away. We're going to have people come in. And I'm saying this because lest folks think, holy crap, he just said that builders in the 1-to-1.5 range are getting obliterated and I can get sweet deals under 500. The market's crashing. It's not crashing.
It's not crashing. It's not crashing. I think we should have like t-shirts.
Yeah. Well, it's correct. Mark, that's a great idea. It's a great idea. Right. But as you said, when you're talking to buyers, the biggest concern buyers have is what? Reiterate that one more time.
They're nervous about buying. And if they wait, can they get a better deal? Is the market crashing? Are they going to be overpaying if they wait a few months, et cetera?
What does a builder do? I know we're bouncing between buyers and builders. What matters most in our final 2 minutes? What does a builder need to be thinking about? If they're like, man, I got an inventory that ain't moving.
So I think they really need to look at where they're spending their money and where they're putting their finishes and being really thoughtful about finding that fine line of what a buyer expects at a certain price point and not gilding the lily and putting too many things in that.
I love this gilding the lily. Tell our listeners what this really means.
Don't put in all of these features that will probably go unappreciated, that you're spending too much money, and be really overly thoughtful about the floor plan, the logistics of the home, don't, and I say this with immense respect.
30 seconds we got.
Call us. We'll do it. I'll do it for free. I want to look at the plan and ask questions and say, have you looked at this? Have you considered this? I'm with buyers all day, every day, that are looking and talking about floor plans.
Let me get the final shot because we have 15 seconds. And if your home is not staged, it needs to be professionally staged right now. If you have inventory sitting in the market, we're happy to guide you on that and refer you to somebody. We get nothing for that. Visit gostgeorge.com, GOSTgeorge.com, or Google the Larkin Group. Jessica Marone, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Jeremy Larkin here with the Larkin Group, KW Realty. Let's have a great, great November.